This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Audible. Coming up on Destructoid, I played Half-Life 2 with a finger gun. Metro Last Light has spiders that crawl on your face, and Emma Stone is in Sleeping Dogs. Confirmed. All this and more right now on Destructoid.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Wednesday, Max.
Happy Wednesday, Tara. It must be Spider Week, because apparently all we're talking about this week is spiders.
Oh, yeah.
And how they're the grossest things
Spider
ever.
sex.
Luckily, we do have some news about sexy ladies.
Yeah,
yet
that
again.
is the opposite of spiders.
Yes, the one enemy of spiders is sexy ladies. As you guys are all well aware, because you totally pay attention to and remember everything that I say, Sleeping Dogs is probably one of my most anticipated games of the year, and its release is just over a month away.
Good
Yesterday,
God.
Square Enix and United Front Games announced the voice cast for this kung fu sandbox crime epic, and it is pretty solid. The game's main character, Wei Shen, will be played by Will Yun Lee, who's been in a handful of so-so TV shows like Witchblade Fallen and the reboots of Bionic Woman and Hawaii Five-0. He was also in Die Another Day, which you might remember because it was a crappy Bond movie. We've also got Lucy Liu, who's sort of an obvious pick since she's like the most well-known Asian actress in Hollywood. Robin Shao, who you guys might remember as Liu Kang from the Mortal Kombat movie, which I'm totally okay with because he's the best. Also Kelly Hu, whose credits include The Scorpion King, X-Men 2, and the gas station robbery scene at the beginning of Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. I don't know why I know that. Also, Lucy Liu is 43, Kelly Hu, 44.
Damn.
They age well. Also present is Tom Wilkinson, who I'm guessing some of you guys might have seen recently as Carmine Falcone in Batman Begins. But I think the real highlight of Sleeping Dogs' cast is Emma Stone, who is apparently playing a love interest. That's right, folks, Emma Stone. Sleeping Dogs is a game where you can do kung fu, and you can shoot a bunch of machine guns and drive around in fancy cars, and then you can take Emma Stone out on dates. Did you hear that? It's just like 1,000 gamers just cried out and then suddenly went and pre-ordered something. Anyway, there's a little video they've got over on the Sleeping Dogs YouTube channel where all these sexy, glamorous, gorgeous movie stars talk about just how excited they are to be working in a video game. They sound earnest, though.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, it's a good voice cast, and Sleeping Dogs hits PC, PS3, and 360 stateside on August 14th, and everywhere else shortly after that. But seriously, they've got like a different release date in every country.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Funny how we kind of predicted this. I mean, not specifically, but on our Casual Friday episode a couple weeks ago, we talked about how like video game companies hiring like AAA actors and stuff to do voice acting
Yeah, we
for their
definitely
games
predicted that.
is going to become a thing. It's totally a thing
It's
now,
been a
and I
thing
want
for
all the
ages.
money and
They
credit
have them
for
in
it.
the Grand Theft Auto games. It's not new at all. What are you
I was
talking
right.
about?
Just
You're
saying,
a crazy
I was
woman.
right. So THQ has finally released their Welcome to Moscow gameplay demo for Metro Last Light that they showed off at E3 this year. If you're a fan of survival horror or creepy crawly insects everywhere, then you're really gonna like it. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic, that's the goddamn truth. If you're not familiar with the series, Last Light is the sequel to Metro 2033. That came out in 2010 and it was pretty well received. It seemed like most of the positive praise was for its story and graphics, while the shooting left a little something to be desired. But the sequel follows the same general storyline. You're still playing as Artyom, a survivor who's been living down in the metro tunnels of a post-apocalyptic Moscow for like over 20 years. And in this particular demo, you team up with a fellow survivor, Pavel, I think that's his name, and you kind of scour the ravaged wasteland together. What is that look on your face right now? It looks like you're about to take a huge shit on our set.
I'm just waiting for the part where you show the spiders.
Jesus Christ, if you guys can see his face.
Just keep going.
Okay, we'll get to spiders in a second. If you guys recall from one of our E3 wrap-up videos, I think I talked about the game's dynamic weather system, where you kind of get a glimpse of this when Artyom and Pavel emerge from the tunnels and all the sunshine kind of quickly turns to thunder and lightning, and it's just like a really good ominous foreshadowing moment. And then of course, once you guys head inside, shit just immediately starts going down. You find a body and you try to scavenge it for resources, and a bunch of spiders crawl out, and then one crawls on your gas mask, and you have to swipe it away and its guts get everywhere. And then you get attacked by this mutant wolf-looking thing, which is like crazy and gnarly, and then you crawl into an abandoned airplane before experiencing this really intense flashback of the plane crash that killed everyone inside, which is like kind of a seriously emotional scene. It's pretty heavy. And then, of course, in the middle of that, you get attacked by a whole pack of these like wolf mutant things, and not just the wolves either, like flying things too. It's crazy. And they chase you down into the metro station, and then your boys got to take them out with some flamethrowers. So yeah. Even if you guys are kind of sick of the post-apocalyptic genre, I really recommend checking out this video. You can watch the full 13 minutes of it over on youtube.com/metrovideogame, and we will have a link to it let's go here. Right here in the video.
Yeah, that game looks really, really good.
Doesn't it?
Looks really gorgeous. And I'm never going to play it because I don't want spiders on my face.
Oh, it's so cool.
I was watching that trailer and I was like waiting for it, and the second it popped up, I was like, nope.
Yep.
Just close the tab.
They nailed the atmosphere, the music, everything makes it so creepy.
I want to make a game called Nope the Fuck Out, and you just start the game. You're like, nope, just nope.
Fuck everything about that. That's the name of your game.
So, on a completely different note, I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, which was released today. I imagine a lot of you guys have made up your mind about this kind of ahead of time because it's a big steaming pile of nostalgia. But if you haven't made up your mind, and the reviews are loose, they've escaped from all their little review pens, and they're all just scampering around every which way, and we've got a report on them. Our pal Alistair Pinsoff put up his review over on Destructoid.com, and he sounded really disappointed. Tony Hawk HD isn't a direct upscale of the original Pro Skater. It's sort of like a greatest hits collection that resurrects 7 levels of the first 2 games, as well as 7 songs off the 15-track soundtrack. They've added some new stuff in there too. The majority of these came from Pro Skater 2, which Alistair has like a religious appreciation of. Like he just went off about how much he loves that game. Unfortunately, from the sound of his review, this HD resurrection it manages to tickle the gamer nostalgia, but doesn't really scratch the itch. That's my line.
I get what you're
wrote
saying
that.
there.
But the game's controls and level design have been preserved, which is kind of for better or for worse, because some of it has dated. And a mix of features have been added or omitted. The absence of local multiplayer and a park editor seem to really hurt the experience. And while Robomoto have evidently tried to recreate the feel of Neversoft's original, Alistair complained that the game's gravity felt weird, movement felt slow, and recovery took too long because you got to get up quick and keep skateboarding. And overall, it sounded like he just found the experience frustrating. Apparently, the HD version made Alistair doubt whether or not the original game was even as good as he remembered it, so he went back and replayed some of it and found it just as enjoyable. And overall, he gave the game a 4.5, saying that the original games earned our nostalgia while this release abuses it. It's short on content, quality, and personality. This is not the Tony Hawk I remember spending middle school summers with. That last line is really terrible out of context.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want a second opinion, Anthony Carboni put up his review over on our Rev3 Games channel, where he seemed a lot less disappointed, noting that as far as HD remakes go, this is one of the most ambitious ones we've seen yet. He commented that in spite of a few shortcomings, it's still a lot of fun. And it just comes down to your expectations.
Yeah.
I've played it. I thought it was fun. I was not a religious player of the first 2 games, so it was kind of like, what's the problem here? And there's some bugginess issues, I think, but one way or the other, that is now out on XBLA for 1,200 Microsoft points, and it should be hitting PSN in a month or so. So
yeah, HD remakes are always tricky because I feel like people's judgment is so clouded by their nostalgia and their need to just like have that again.
No, it's like when a pet dies and then your mom tries to buy you one that looks like it, and you're like, nah, my pet wasn't that high resolution before.
Yeah.
So
cloning pets, man, it's gonna become the norm soon. Hey gamers, do you hate rummaging through layers of clothes and McDonald's wrappers every night just to find that darn Xbox controller? Do you have $500 to spare? Because if so, then Microsoft has the solution for you. The My Xbox Live app was updated recently to include iPad Touch control support, allowing you to basically use it as a remote control for your Xbox, so you can do things like launch games, browse and watch videos, play DVDs, all that good stuff from the comfort of your 9-inch touchscreen device. This is, I think, kind of the precursor to Microsoft's smart glass technology that they announced back at E3. That's going to be coming to tablets and mobile devices later this year. But Jackie Talbot, Revision 3's other redhead, I'm just saying there's no bad beef there. I'm just saying she's also a redhead.
Yeah.
She talked about the new iPad functionality on today's episode of App Judgment. So if you want to see some video of that in action, or if you've got a thing for redheads, then you can check that out at youtube.com/appjudgment. And then we're also going to have a link in this video. Oh, look, there's our producer, Zach. He's famous. We're also going to have a link in the video right there.
Okay, you're doing the annotations today.
Yep. So, with that, we're going to be back in just a quick minute to talk about hand movements and hard drives. But first, have you guys heard about Audible.com? They are the #1 provider of downloadable audiobooks, and for a limited time, you can get an audiobook of your choice completely free. They've got over 100,000 books to choose from, and just about every genre you could want, and it's 100% discreet. Yeah, I'm talking to you, grown-ass man reading 50 Shades of Grey in broad daylight like it's the most natural thing in the world. Cut that shit out right now. What you should be doing is going to audible.com/Destructoid to get your free audiobook, then just download it to your MP3 player and listen to it in shameful silence like the rest of us. Again, that website is audible.com/Destructoid for all your filthy secrets and spoken literature needs. Back to the show.
So you even managed to make audiobooks dirty.
Oh yeah, always. It's my specialty. So before we get into whatever it is that Max wants to talk about, we want to remind you guys about a contest that Destructoid is currently running for these kick-ass Seagate Momentus XT solid-state hybrid drives. Whew, that is a long name. They're super fast, super quiet, and they're perfect for gaming because of their 750 gig storage capacity, so you could put like 1 million games on there.
You could put other stuff besides
Maybe
games
not 1 million,
on there too.
but close. And even better, we are giving away 5 of them next week to 5 lucky viewers. To win, all you need to do is upload a YouTube video explaining why your gaming laptop needs a hybrid upgrade, and then just submit that entry as a video response to Monday's episode of our show. You can find that on youtube.com/Detoid. And then email us a link to your video at cookies@destructoid.com just so we know it's there and we don't miss it. You guys have until Sunday, July 22nd at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time to send us those things, so do that. Then we will announce the winners on next Monday's show. And also note that this contest is US only, and there will be full rules and regulations in the description down below.
This is a great contest to have.
I know. These things
in
are really awesome. I want to keep one for myself, but they said that I couldn't.
That's wrong. But right in the lieu of the Steam sale, which I accidentally went on Steam today, and then I, bought like 80 games for $60 by accident. Oops.
I know. Now you have to delete all your porn. It's not fair.
My porn. Anyway, changing the subject from my porn, you guys might have seen this video we put up on this very channel about the Leap. It is a very high-tech new motion control peripheral that is coming out sometime this winter for PC and Mac, and there's a Linux version in the works, and it's not specifically intended for gaming, but it has a lot of potential. When I checked the Leap out, I got to play around with a few different sort of tech demo programs, including a little bit of Half-Life 2, which I figured I'd field some questions about it. Just the Leap in general, not the Half-Life 2. For starters, questions. Will this be working with any other device? Do you require a high amount of lighting for it to detect your motion? From 1 to 10, how stupid will you look using it? Thanks. This is from Chizo545. Yeah, it looks like that, and it's going to be connected with like a USB 2 thing, and it's much smaller than that. It's not quite that big, but you put it in front of your computer, and it kind of works like the Kinect has trouble detecting you unless you're exactly the right range away. This is kind of like, this is right by you got like a 2-foot thing in front of it.
So it's hard to screw up, basically.
Yeah, I was actually where we were doing it. We were in pretty much a dark room. I mean, it was pretty dim, and someone else asked, I'm curious why they needed to shut the curtains in the room. Does the excess light affect the detection of the thing? From what I can gather, it just uses the light from the monitor. So like you've basically got your hands being detected, but this thing like it detects like a 3D kind of range. So you put your hand through it, and it's like scanning like little dots all on the bottom of your hand.
Sure.
And you don't have to just use your hand. You could put in like a chopstick or a pencil or anything else really. So
you use your left hand to actually move, and you use the hand that you're moving to just do things, like pick stuff up or shoot?
Well, I mean, Half-Life was seriously them just like tweaking the controls. Like, I mean, it was making the motion controls behave like a mouse. I was holding my hand out like this and going like this to click. And then moving around like this to kind of do the mouse aim. And someone asked was about how hard it is to turn around, and it's like they really didn't try and mod Half-Life to support their thing. They were like, they were just like, this is what you could do, and this was a couple hours of them kind of tweaking.
How hard is it to aim? Like when you go like this, can you see the cursor on the screen?
Yeah, when you put you can do up to 10 fingers in it. Because it's all detecting 3D and stuff. In their sort of demo reel, they have like somebody using chopsticks to play Angry Birds. So you're pinching back the slingshot like that.
Interesting.
It's really versatile. You could put like 10 fingers in, and they become like 10 mouse cursors. So this thing is detecting like 3D space. and at the same time, it's also creating like a virtual touchscreen kind of.
But you can also use it to draw, right?
Yeah, I did some drawing with it, which was crazy. Someone asked, does the drawing work well? Could it replace drawing tablets? This is from Big Beef Tomatoes. I don't know if it's going to replace it because there still is a lot of people have that need for tactile stuff.
Sure.
But as somebody who's used a lot of drawing tablets, it's got a lot of potential just because you don't have to worry about losing a pen, and because it automatically senses like shape.
I would think the precision would be a lot less.
Yeah, it's really, really precise, and you can also like adjust the kind of range that it affects. Like I was like writing in like tiny millimeters.
Interesting.
But I mean, you know, as opposed to, like, hypothetically, they were really just showing off kind of some early tech demo stuff. Let's say you have a bunch of actual paintbrushes and you're in Photoshop and you have like a little tiny one and you're like this, and it's getting the little tiny marks, and you're like, I want a big paintbrush. You could put in a big paintbrush and it would recognize the change in, you know, size,
diameter?
and it would actually behave like a real paintbrush. So
that's cool.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's not exclusively for gaming, so it's like a weird thing to talk about in that context. The fact that they had Half-Life 2 running on it was just sort of like, look what we can do.
Do you think this is going to be like a big thing in gaming in the near future?
I think it really depends on the support that goes with it, but if it works the way I was using it and there is like, you know, proper driver support, I'm really excited to see what they do with it. So anyway,
looks cool.
I did a more extensive video over on that. That's on our channel right here. It's a neat thing. That's the Leap Motion.
I want to check it out for myself.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. You should go check that out. That's all the time we have for today's show. You should come back here on Friday for our live show, which that happens right here on our YouTube channel. I know some of you guys watch on like Roku boxes or iTunes or whatever, but that's on youtube.com/dtoid, and it turns live, and that happens at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, sharp.
Sometimes we're 5 minutes late, but just stick around. And we're also going to be giving away Guild Wars 2 beta codes this Friday.
That's very exciting.
We're gonna have goodies.
I won't be here because I'm getting my wisdom teeth taken out, but you guys should tune in anyway. I might tune in while whacked out on painkillers and just troll the shit out of the chat. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, well, you guys should follow us on Twitter in the meantime. I'm Tara Longest. He is Max Scoville, and of course the show is DToid Show. 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, Friday. You better be there. You better be there.
I'm not going to be there.
You better be there. Tell your dentist.
No.